After more than 20 years as a principal Java developer, people always ask me, what's the one thing they can master to really level up their code? And my answer is always the same: the Java Collections Framework. It is, without a doubt, the backbone of countless applications. So over the next few minutes, we're going to dive deep and get you using it just like a pro.
Okay, so let's jump right in by talking about a problem that I guarantee every single one of us has faced, especially when we are just starting out. You need to store a bunch of stuff, a group of items, and what's the first tool we all reach for? A simple array, right? But, and it's a big but, we find out pretty fast that arrays have a huge, glaring flaw. And this quote here from the legendary Core Java book just nails the problem perfectly. The issue is, basic arrays have a fixed size. That means you have to guess right up front how much space you're going to need. And let's be honest, that guess, it's almost always wrong in one of two very frustrating ways. And that's the core issue, right? This rigidity. It puts you in a complete no-win situation. You either guess too big and waste a ton of memory, or you guess too small and bam, your whole application can just crash. It's just not a good way to handle the kind of dynamic, unpredictable data that we deal with in the real world. So what's the solution? Well, this is where Java gets really smart. It provides this incredibly elegant fix. Instead of forcing us to juggle memory and sizes, it gives us this powerful framework that's built from the ground up to handle groups of objects dynamically and honestly beautifully. All right, so here's the official definition from Oracle. But I want you to focus on that last part, independently of implementation details. That right there is the magic. You can think of the whole framework as a set of super powerful standardized blueprints. It lets you manage your groups of objects without ever having to get your hands dirty with the messy, low-level details. And look, the advantages here are huge, and they go way beyond just being convenient. When you use the framework, you're standing on the shoulders of giants. You're using code written and heavily optimized by the Java engineers themselves. What does that mean for you? Well, you write less code, for starters. And the code you do write is built on a foundation that's faster and way more reliable. Seriously, this focus on reuse and common interfaces, that's the secret sauce of professional, easy-to-maintain software. Okay, so how do we actually put this into practice? I love thinking about the main collection types as the essential tools in your programming toolbox. Just like a carpenter, you gotta know when to grab a hammer and when to grab a screwdriver. It's all about picking the right tool for the job. At the very top, everything in the framework boils down to three core concepts, three main interfaces. You've got lists, sets, and maps. That's it. And each one is built for a very specific kind of job, a specific way to structure your data. Now, this table, this is where things get really interesting. It shows you the next layer down. See, the interface, like a list, is the what. It's the blueprint. It tells you what you can do. The implementation, like an array list, that's the how. It's how the work actually gets done under the hood. And trust me, this difference is absolutely critical for performance. Let's take an example. You need a list. Okay. Do you pick array list? It's basically a flexible array, which means grabbing an item by its position is lightning fast. But try to add or remove something from the middle, and everything has to shift around, which is slow. Or do you pick linked list? It's a chain of objects, so sticking a new one in the middle or pulling one out is super fast. But asking for the 500th item, well, it has to walk the whole chain to find it. So choosing the right how for your work can make or break your application's performance. And making this choice, getting it right, is so important. Think about it in real terms. Are you storing a user's click history? Well, the order of those clicks matters, right? That's a job for a list. What about the roles a user has, like admin or editor? You definitely don't want duplicates there. That's a set. And what if you need to look up a user's profile using their unique email address? That's a perfect use case for a map. Grabbing the wrong tool here isn't just about performance. It can lead to some really nasty, hard-to-find bugs. All right, let's talk about the pro-level habit. This is, hands down, the single most important piece of advice I can give you about using collections. If you build this one habit into your workflow, I promise you, it will immediately make your code better and so much more flexible. Seriously, if you only remember one single thing from our chat today, make it this. This principle is the key that unlocks the real power of the whole framework. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, look at these two examples. On the left, our method is super picky. It will only accept an array list. So what happens if your data is in a linked list or a hash set? Well, you're stuck. You've got to convert it first. Now look at the right. This version will accept any kind of collection.
It is so much more flexible because it doesn't care how the data is stored, only what it is, a collection of items.
And this quote gets to the heart of it. This is the question you need to burn into your brain. Ask yourself this every single time you write a method. If all you're going to do is loop through the items, why are you demanding a list? The much more general collection interface works just fine. Getting into this habit forces you, in the best way possible, to design better, more reusable, and more flexible code. All right, let's wrap this up and put everything together. I want to give you a simple, step-by-step process that you can use every single time you need to work with a collection of data. But first, just one more time, let's remember why this all matters so much. Getting good at the collections framework means you stop wasting your time and energy reinventing the wheel. You can just trust these super optimized, pre-built data structures and focus your brainpower where it really counts, on solving the actual business problems. That's what being a professional developer is all about. So here's your thought process, your mental checklist. 1. Really think about the problem. How do you actually need to store and access this data? 2. Choose the right interface. Do you need a list, a set, or a map? 3. Now pick the implementation. Is ArrayList faster for your use case, or is HashSet the better fit? And finally, step 4. Always code to the interface. If you walk through these steps, you're going to make the right call every single time. So, I'm going to leave you with a little puzzle to think about. Imagine you're building a new feature. Users can add tags to a blog post, like Java or programming. Now ask yourself 2 questions. First, does the order in which they add the tags matter? And second, should a user be able to add the exact same tag twice? The way you answer those 2 simple questions will tell you exactly which collection is the right tool for the job. Give it some thought.